What's up, everyone? This is Bacon, and today I want to talk about the state of Expedition. Expedition is a interesting game mode that was added just a few months ago. Since its inception, there's been some mixed reviews. Some people really like it. Some people love the amount of time you can sink into it and the rewards that are really solid, honestly. And others have started to complain that it's just too much work. It is too long. There needs to be some breaks in between it. And so I want to talk about Expedition as a whole, the good, the things that are bad, and maybe some tweaks that could be added to it to make it a little better. So Expedition just ended in my server, and I think that's probably the case for a lot of people. But, oh, okay. And so if you look at Expedition overall, it's a pretty long event. It's normally, or historically, it's been about 30 days. And it's actually being the next one. I don't know if this is a permanent thing or just for this next one specifically. Maybe it's a trial run, but it's for 42 days. Now, 42 days is a long time. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it or anything. It feels like a lot of work for most people, I think. And so I think it's making it longer is probably not the best thing. I think the only thing, if you are going to make it longer, is maybe have like the days actually last 2 days instead of just one. And so you have 2 days to kind of make your move and adjustments. I think that would be something that would kind of make Expedition maybe a little not as grindy. Another thing is the Mystic Gate. The Mystic Gate, when it first came out, I thought it was, I can't even click on it anymore. Mystic Gate is something that, how do I put this? It's also very grindy, but it's even more grindy than just having to do your daily things in Expedition. You have to basically, do it every 6 hours, use all of your battles. And so if you want to progress at the rate where you get the bonus rewards, and I think the idea is nice to have something that you can kind of do solo on your own that kind of gives you rewards, but it just feels like one more task that is just a lot to deal with. I think if they expanded, maybe you get like 2 attacks regions per day. I don't know, something where it's like a slower region rate and there's less floors and not expanding the amount of clears per level so quickly could make it a little more viable. I just think this as a whole, while the rewards are really nice, and honestly, the rewards, like I said, are really good in this game. There's no question about the rewards are great. It just feels like a lot of work to get them. And so that's one thing, a tweak to Mystic Gate in some way, or maybe just not having it as often or not having it as grindy would be really nice. And then some positives, rewards are great. I think it's nice to be able to kind of partner up with some people that are not in your guild. Do I wish it was just a guild event? Honestly, yeah, I think it would be nice if it was just your guild. You can kind of elect to it, and that's, you don't have to worry about like people joining or getting like the best league or whatever. I think league hopping and stuff, even with all the nerfs, is still very common, and it can be kind of annoying just having to deal with that. I don't think it's necessarily like a bad thing to want to be on a good team, but it's just annoying to have to like figure out the logistics, think about it, and stuff like that. Half time, I've just kind of stuck with whatever league I've been given, just because it's for me personally, I just don't care that much about it. I think is also kind of switching to the positives. I think, overall, I think it can be fun for those who are really into it. You can kind of see here this kind of craziness, but there's been a few people I've talked to who have really liked it, and if that's your type of thing that you really enjoy, I'm happy for you. Personally, it's not something I really like, but some people who really enjoy this type of thing, who like being the leaders and kind of like being strategic about things, they've really enjoyed it. So there's definitely a group of people who really enjoy this. I'm not saying if it's a majority or minority, I don't really know, but I do think people do enjoy this kind of content. I think having the pay to win components in here is fine for me. I understand that Lilith needs to make money, and I think putting it into this, having like extra teams, is not a big deal at all. I think that's something that's totally chill. One thing that I think would be nice is if there was some way where you don't just get like blocked off if you don't move your units quick enough. So like if you have units that are stationed here and then this gets taken, you're kind of trapped here. Same here, like units that are stationed here are trapped by yellow, and same here, they're kind of trapped to get in here. And so it can be kind of frustrating if you get like half your teams or all your teams trapped because you weren't paying attention for like half a day. And so I think having some way to move them around, or just not having that as a thing in general. I think if you just had attack, defense, and it doesn't matter where your units are, you just say, I want to defend this thing, and they defend, and it's just straightforward. You don't have to, make them defend first or worry about where they're located or getting cut off. I understand it adds strategy to the game, but I think for the average player, that is just annoying. I don't think most people like that. I think going back to some things that I think would be nice is just a little less complexity, or having to click through things as much. I think for mail, if I could just collect all and not have to go through every single one. Look, I had a reward down there I hadn't even claimed yet because it's just a lot of work. I think that would be nice. I think quick claim options for the results and stuff like that for your quests, just easy quality of life things that can be added that are really nice. And then just maybe a little bit less clutter. Like it just feels very cluttered. So I think maybe, I'm not a UI designer, so I'm not going to give ideas for it, but maybe just a little bit more simplicity, especially for people just starting out. But getting back to the length thing, I think the biggest thing is people are very burnt out with how often this event is happening, how long it is. I think if you did it like some of the other events where it's like once every 3 months, and it can be a longer event, it can be 2, 3, 4 weeks long. But if it's going to be all the time, pretty much, I think it's just a lot. And I think it's difficult because they already made it as like a bottom thing down here where it's part of the gameplay. It's not like an event thing up here. So they basically would have to cut this out and just make it a normal event. But I think that would be something that the community overall would like. And I think it also varies depending on how far in the game you are. I think if you are, if you've been playing for a while and you just kind of want to keep grinding but not having to spend too much time in the game, Expedition feels like a lot. But if you're like a new player who's really excited about it, you're like, holy frick, look at all these rewards, look at all these things I can do. And Expedition can be a little more exciting. And so I think it definitely depends on where you're at in the game, your commitment to the game, and so forth. And then I guess my final comment about Expedition, I do like that Lilith is trying new things. I like that they are not just sticking to the status quo. That means everything is not going to totally hit the mark, which I think this event or this addition to the game maybe isn't what people want. But I think it is something that is, not a horrible thing. It's not like Draconis and Classic where it's just a whole nother grind thing where you got to spend a lot of money and you can't really progress without spending money. This is not the case. This is honestly really good rewards, free rewards for playing just maybe 15 minutes a day. But I think just the event as a whole is not very fun. I think that's what it really lacks. I just think it's fun. I don't enjoy doing this. I don't really like having to think about things like this. The whole strategy thing, having leaders, the commitment that the leaders have to have for this can be hard to find people who are actually committed. I think if your league was smaller, it might be a little easier. I think if it was just the guilds, like I mentioned earlier, I think the Vault of Riches is, well, I guess I haven't even unlocked all of them because I kind of just stopped playing. I'm being honest. There. Oh, no, but I don't have this one. I guess I'm screwed. I think there's just a lot of layers to this game mode that can be challenging for a lot of people, including myself. I just don't feel motivated to do it. But that could be my issue. That could be my personal thing. But that's just my thoughts on Expedition. I think kind of just giving a review, I think if you were just to make it less common or less often, shorten the length a little bit, and maybe make the leagues a little bit smaller, then it would be a little more engaging. I think if you made the league smaller, you could have some really competitive ones. If you had just 50 people, just your whole guild, you could get some and just put like the top 10 guilds. That could be really competitive. Honestly, I think the problem with that is if you're in a top guild, you kind of get punished because you're against all the other bad or really good guilds, and then people who are in bad guilds get placed with other bad guilds, and then they get the same rewards. So I do think there's a way to maybe not do that, but have like 3 top guilds in one, 5 lower ones. I don't know. My job isn't to fix all this, but I just wanted to share that. I think Expedition definitely needs some work. I think it has missed the mark a little bit, but I do think it is fixable in some areas, and I do think people do enjoy it. I don't personally that much, but I know some other people do, and so I wanted to kind of just mention that. Now, let's go ahead before I end this video. Per usual, I got some summons to do. I want to make sure I have the right homies in here. All right. I like doing these more frequently because I don't like having my summons just sitting here. Nice, Mirror is a good one. Because I do want to keep progressing with my summons. Kryn, I think I do need him to get another star, star or 2 for him. I think I need 1 Trisha to get her 5-star. Odin, I'll definitely take Odin. Let's see what we can get. Come on. Rain. I think I'm really close to getting her ascended, actually. Hodgkin. I definitely do not need another Hodgkin. All right, this is my last chance. Give me what I want, baby. Come on. I think that might actually transcend. Let's just do it. I don't care. I need 1 more Taline. I don't have very many of these, and so I'm not really saving up for the new Celestial. I'll just probably try to go for her after I max my Taline, which I just need 1 more. And so, come on. Lucky last one right here. So that's kind of my plan with the new hero. I never, once she was kind of mentioned as a release, I never really thought like, oh, I was gonna be able to summon a bunch of them, get a bunch of copies of her, because that's just too hard to get copies of getting stargazing cards for that. Let's see. I think I might be close to getting a few people up. Let's check. I got my Rain ascended, which is cool. Got my boy Kryn, 3 stars. That's a nice little buff for him. Get Rain ascended, which is nice. It'll be nice once I get some stars on her. And then I think Navanti. Yep, nice. This is my second one. Tassie and Navanti, which honestly are not like game breaking to get them as transcended, but I think it's fun to see more of the borders. I'm not gonna lie. How many more? I think I need 1 more Leica. Yeah, I need 1 more Leica. Getting close. We're getting up there with some of the transcendents. Sure, I think my friends list is getting close to full. I have 6 spots left, so if you want to send me a friend request, go ahead and do it. I've been getting a lot of kind messages from people who have added me on there, so thank you for the shout outs. I'm glad I've been able to kind of help some of you guys in your journey. That's been what a lot of the comments have been about. I don't think that mirror does anything for me. I think it just gets me closer to transcending her, but it's not enough. Oh no, that gives me her 5th star. Nice. That's actually huge. That's really nice. So I think on Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to do a tower push for all my faction towers. So keep an eye out for that video. And then tomorrow, the update comes into effect. So I'm going to have a video on that. Especially looking at the new Celestial hero. I just kind of wanted to wait till she is actually out to kind of talk about her, because it's kind of, I mean, you can do the test server, but I just like seeing it when she's actually live and out. It's fun. But that looks like it's it for today. Here's what you guys think about Expedition. Have you liked it? Have you kind of just been like, it's whatever? Or have you just like completely abandoned it at this point? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you like my content, make sure you like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. Peace.